These two phones cost very different money, and on paper, they want very different things. The Samsung Galaxy A57 is Samsung's 2026 mid-ranger. Aluminium and Gorilla Glass Victus Plus, IP68, 6 years of Android updates. The Infinix Note 60 Pro is the value challenger, a 144Hz screen that hits 4,500 nits, a battery up to 6,500 mAh, and 90-watt charging, for around a third less. So which one actually deserves your money? Let's go spec by spec and find out. Both phones use an OLED panel, but they're chasing different things. The Samsung Galaxy A57 runs a 6.7-inch Super AMOLED Plus at 1080 by 2340, refreshing at 120 Hz, with HDR10 Plus and a 1900 nit peak. The Infinix Note 60 Pro goes bigger and bolder, 6.78 inches, a sharper 1208 by 2644, 144 Hz, and a peak brightness of 4500 nits. That's more than double the Samsung, and it's the difference between readable in sunlight and comfortable in sunlight. What the Infinix gives up is HDR10 Plus certification and the tougher glass. It uses Gorilla Glass 7, where the Samsung has Victus Plus. The Infinix Note 60 Pro wins the numbers you actually see: sharper, faster, and more than twice as bright, while the Samsung Galaxy A57 keeps HDR10 Plus certification and the tougher Victus Plus glass. Height first. The Samsung Galaxy A57 stands 161.5mm tall, the Infinix Note 60 Pro 162.4, under a millimeter between them. That's quietly impressive on the Infinix's part, because it's fitting a battery up to 30% larger into almost the same footprint. Front on, the Samsung Galaxy A57 measures 76.8mm against 77.2 on the Infinix Note 60 Pro. On its own, that's nothing, but pair it with the Samsung's 6.9mm waist against the Infinix's 7.4, and the A57 is clearly the easier phone to wrap a hand around. This is where the Samsung Galaxy A57 pulls away. Both phones use an aluminium frame, but the Samsung puts Gorilla Glass Victus Plus on the front and the back, and seals the whole thing to IP68, full dust protection and proper submersion. The Infinix Note 60 Pro has Gorilla Glass 7i up front, a plain glass back, and an IP64 rating, which means splashes only. The A57 is also independently drop-rated Class A at 270 falls, and it's the lighter phone by nearly 23 grams, 179 against 201.7. Taken as a whole, the Samsung Galaxy A57 is the more refined body. Narrower, half a millimeter thinner, 23 grams lighter, sealed to IP68 and wrapped in Victus Plus on both faces. The Infinix Note 60 Pro spends every one of those millimeters and grams on a far bigger battery. Both lead with a 50-megapixel stabilized main camera, and it's actually the Infinix Note 60 Pro that has the brighter lens at f1.6 against f1.8. The gap shows in the supporting cast. The Samsung Galaxy A57 pairs a 12-megapixel ultrawide with a 5-megapixel macro. The Infinix Note 60 Pro has an 8-megapixel ultrawide and nothing else. Neither phone offers a dedicated telephoto. Selfies swing back the other way, 13 megapixels on the Infinix against 12 on the Samsung, and while both cap out at 4K 30, only the Infinix Note 60 Pro shoots 1080p at 120 frames per second for slow motion. Genuinely close, the Samsung Galaxy A57 has the better ultrawide and a macro lens the Infinix doesn't. The Infinix Note 60 Pro has the brighter main lens, sharper selfies, and 120 frames slow motion. Capacity is the Infinix Note 60 Pro's headline. It ships with 6,000 or 6,500 mAh against a flat 5,000 on the Samsung Galaxy A57, up to 30% more. The Samsung's answer is measured longevity rather than raw size. 52 hours of active use endurance, a rated 1,200 charge cycles, and a Class A energy rating, none of which the Infinix has published figures for. On charging, there's no contest on paper. 45 watts wired on the Samsung Galaxy A57 versus 90 watts wired, 30 watts wireless and reverse charging on the Infinix Note 60 Pro. First, the quick top-up, the burst you get before heading out the door. In 15 minutes, the Samsung Galaxy A57 takes on 1,800 mAh, about 36%. The Infinix Note 60 Pro pulls in 2,820, or 47%. By 30 minutes, the gap widens, 3,200 mAh on the Samsung against 4,860 on the Infinix, which is already at 81%. Now the full refill. The Samsung Galaxy A57 reaches 100% in 69 minutes. The Infinix Note 60 Pro does it in 41. And normalized per 1,000 mAh, which is the only fair way to compare when one battery is far bigger, the Samsung needs 13.8 minutes, where the Infinix needs 6.8. The Infinix Note 60 Pro charges roughly twice as fast, on a battery that's roughly a third larger. The Infinix Note 60 Pro takes the battery chapter outright, up to 30% more capacity, twice the wired charging speed, wireless charging on top, and a full refill in 41 minutes against the Samsung 69. The Samsung Galaxy A57 runs Android 16 under One UI 8.5 on Samsung's own Exynos 1680, a 4nm chip with an X-Clips 550 graphics core. The Infinix Note 60 Pro also runs Android 16 under XOS 16 on Qualcomm's Snapdragon 7S Gen 4, likewise 4nm with an Adreno 810. Both offer up to 12GB of RAM. The difference that matters most here isn't the silicon though, it's support. Samsung promises 6 major Android upgrades. Infinix promises 3. The Samsung Galaxy A57 wins this chapter twice over, the faster chip today and twice as many years of Android updates to keep it current. Storage tells a similar story. The Samsung Galaxy A57 runs from 128GB all the way to 512 on the quicker UFS 3.1 standard. The Infinix Note 60 Pro tops out at 256GB on UFS 2.2. And since neither phone has a microSD slot, whatever you buy on day one is what you live with. The Samsung Galaxy A57 takes it, double the maximum capacity on the faster storage standard. On Geekbench 6, the Samsung Galaxy A57 scores 4,399 multi-core and 1,372 single-core. The Infinix Note 60 Pro returns 3,403 and 1,242. So the Exynos leads by about 29% when all 8 cores are working, and by around 10% on a single core, which is the figure you feel in everyday taps and scrolls. AnTuTu tells the same story, with a wider margin. On version 10, the Samsung Galaxy A57 posts 999,490, against the Infinix Note 60 Pro's 866,687, about 15%. But on the newer version 11, which leans harder on graphics, it's 1,360,055, against 961,238. That's a 41% gap. Graphics is where the split is largest. In 3D Mark Wildlife Extreme, the Samsung Galaxy A57's X-Clips 550 manages 1,737, while the Infinix Note 60 Pro's Adreno 810 returns 1,215. The Samsung is 43% ahead. If you play demanding titles, that's the number to remember. The Samsung Galaxy A57 sweeps the benchmark chapter, around 29% ahead in Geekbench Multicore, 41% in AnTuTu V11, and 43% in 3D Mark. The Infinix Note 60 Pro is still quick enough for everything most people do daily, but it isn't the performance pick. The Samsung Galaxy A57 carries the newer radios, Wi-Fi 6E against Wi-Fi 6, and Bluetooth 6.0 against 5.4. And it locks onto far more satellite systems, adding Galileo, GLONASS, Beidou, and QZSS on top of plain GPS, where the Infinix Note 60 Pro lists GPS alone. Both use USB-C 2.0 with OTG, and both have NFC. The one thing only the Infinix Note 60 Pro has is an infrared blaster, so it can double as a remote for your TV and air conditioner. The Samsung Galaxy A57 is the better connected phone on every standard that matters. The Infinix Note 60 Pro's consolation is the infrared blaster. Sensors are effectively identical. Both phones unlock with an under-display optical fingerprint reader, and both include an accelerometer, a gyroscope, a proximity sensor, and a compass. Nothing separates them here. A dead heat. The same fingerprint technology and the same full sensor suite on both. Now the part everyone's waiting for, the price. At 128 gigabytes, the Samsung Galaxy A57 starts around $550, or about 48,000 rupees, while the Infinix Note 60 Pro starts near $381, or roughly 32,000 rupees. That's the Samsung asking about 44% more for the same storage, and the gap holds at 256 gigabytes too. These are the base prices and are subject to change. You might get better deals, discounts and coupon codes, or installment plans when you actually decide to buy. This is the number that reframes everything else. The Infinix Note 60 Pro undercuts the Samsung Galaxy A57 by roughly a third at every shared capacity, so the Samsung has to justify a 44% premium on build, chip and support alone. The Samsung Galaxy A57 is the more polished phone, faster silicon, IP68 with Gorilla Glass Victus Plus front and back, 6 years of Android updates, and a lighter, slimmer body. The Infinix Note 60 Pro answers with a brighter, sharper, faster 144Hz screen, a battery up to 30% bigger, 90-watt charging that refills it in 41 minutes, and a price that undercuts the Samsung by about a third. Buy the Samsung Galaxy A57 if you keep a phone for years and want it to survive them. Buy the Infinix Note 60 Pro if screen, endurance and value matter more to you than benchmark scores. So which one would you pick? Let us know in the comments, and if this comparison helped, drop a like and subscribe for more.